Hi everybody, Martin Hevesy here from Hubside and Cellular and Wireless Unmasked. And today I wanted to bring you a video about 3/8 cable. When I started to do connectors, there were lots of helpful videos on how to prep half-inch cable, both foam and air dielectric. But when I started to use 3/8 cable, I could not find a good video on how to do connectors and prep. So I figured I'll just make one. So today we're going to be using the Kumba 3/8 plenum cable. It is an air dielectric cable, similar to half-inch dielectric, AL4 RPV, ICA12, the UPN cable. There's a number of different options for half-inch, but there's only very few options for 3/8. Kumba is one of the few manufacturers that makes coax in the 3/8 side. This is air dielectric, so it is plenum rated. Note that when you prep this cable, you always want to prep it down so no shavings get in. But let's talk about all the things we have on the table here, what we're going to need to put a connector on this bad boy. We have our prep tool, we have cable cutters, we have wrenches. The connectors from Kumba, the ones I'm going to be showing today, are in three pieces. There is the back part of the connector, there is a weather gasket, and there is the top part of the connector, which is the 4.310 male. It does come in 4.3 female, and male, and female. So you have four types, which cover you for most applications in indoor wireless. I always carry a utility knife with me. I wear safety glasses. This is handy when after you prep it to get any other of that plastic separator material out of your coax. The prep tool does have a hand tool option, but I prefer to use my driver and a vacuum to clean up your work area. And like I mentioned before, if you're prepping this cable and you're prepping it with the cable facing up, you might get some metal shavings down there in the prepping process, so always point it down. But if you need to vacuum out the cable after you're done, it's not a bad practice. It's a good practice. You can tap it as you're vacuuming. That will ensure there's no metal shavings in your cable. And again, the vacuum is handy for cleaning up your work area because prepping will create a mess. One thing before we talk about prepping and connectorizing these cables, don't use regular side cutting dikes. I see some guys do that where they just crush the cable doing that. What you create is kind of a flat oblong surface, which is not ideal for putting on a connector. What you should use is a proper cable cutting pair of dikes or a cable cutting tool. Just gentle pressure, and you want to work it all the way around your cable, nice and easy. It's a thin outer conductor, so it doesn't take a lot of effort, a lot of pressure. It will snap right when you get through the center conductor. There you go. You have a nice flat round surface for prepping your cable. So let's go ahead and get started. I will now prep the cable and prepare the connector. Again, this is the Kumba 4.310 male. Let's go ahead and get started with prepping the cable. Okay, let's prep our cable and put on our 4.310 male connector. Remember, when you prep half-inch or 3/8 air dielectric cable, you want to point that down so no shavings get inside. Take your tool. You want to make sure that you use, again, the right prep tool and gentle pressure as you put the cable into the prep tool. Let's get that prepped. Let's get a good cut on that. There we go. Not getting a good cut here. Let me give it a little bit more pressure. There we go. And again, it's going to fling material all around you, so be careful. This is what you want to see. I'll bring it up close to you. You want to see about 3 of the spirals and a couple millimeters of that top conductor. Now, there is some extra dielectric material. Use your utility knife to kind of trim that away. Some of the other tools come with that coring bit, which help clean that up. So just give it a little clean. Make sure you don't scar and mark up the center conductor too much. Just clean that plastic out of there so you have a nice mating surface for your connector. There's 3 pieces with the Kumba connectors. Whoops. There are not 4 pieces. There's not that spiral kind of a spring ring you have with the other type of connectors. Anyway, let's go ahead. Put your sealing ring on. This will go on your coax. It'll go on right down to the jacket. This will provide you with some weather protection. Try to keep moisture and water out. It sits right there on the jacket. Then the back part of your connector goes just like that. Goes on, you can work it down. I like to give it a couple of twists. What you want is to get that surface to be right in line with the top of your outer conductor. So there we go. You can take a file, bevel the edge if you want, but you don't really have to. It's a good practice. Then you take the head of your connector, you work that on, get your thread started. Once they start, let the connector do the work and bring itself together. On these Kumba connectors, 5/8 does fit on the back nut. It's a little snug, but it works just fine. And then 17 on the front. So we're going to bring it around. I'm going to drop my wrenches. You're going to do this in the field, so it's going to be a little bit more chaotic. So again, safety glasses, bring that around. It will dead end. And when it does, that's when you stop. So right there, light torque. Make sure you can't see any of that rubber gasket in between. And there we go. We just put a 4.310 male on 3/8 air dielectric plenum rated cable. This particular cable is the Kumba cable. We used a Kumba prep tool. Always use the right prep tool for your cable. I will go ahead and show you this a little bit closer. You won't see any of the sealing ring here, and you can just see a little bit of the rubber gasket here on the back, which helps tell you that you've got a little bit of moisture protection. Always weatherproof your connectors if you're doing this outdoors, but this will be great for an indoor application where you're putting a 4.310 or an N, male or female, on your system. Anyway, this is Martin Hevesy of Hubside. My channel is Cellular and Wireless Unmasked. I hope you found this video informational and helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them below in the comment section. I will answer them as soon as I can. Love it when you subscribe and share my videos. Again, Martin Hevesy, Hubside. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.